Hello, my name is Paul Fuqua, and I'm a naturalist. I spend much of my time studying animals and how they live. And that's why I'm here, sloshing around in these warm tropical waters. And look what I found. It's the shell of an interesting little critter called a horseshoe crab. And here are some live horseshoe crabs. The fact is, though they look much like them, they aren't really crabs at all. But they are invertebrates, and that's the animal group we'll explore today. From beautiful butterflies to bashful boa constrictors. From busy little bees to big old buffalo. Our world is filled with so many different animals, with so many fascinating creatures. But as different as our friends the animals can be from each other, scientists have divided them all into just two main groups. These are the vertebrates and the invertebrates. Do you know what makes them different? Do you know what makes us humans and many other animals, such as this beautiful fish and this serious-looking little frog, vertebrates, while spiders and other animals such as snails are invertebrates? Well, if you answered backbones, you were right. Backbones are what make the difference. This one is from a dog. Dogs and other animals that have backbones are vertebrates. And animals such as our busy little buddy here that don't have backbones are invertebrates. It's that simple. When it comes to our friends the invertebrates, a good word to remember is lots. The invertebrates are a huge bunch with lots and lots of different kinds. The truth is, over 90% of all the animals in the world are invertebrates. Or, to put it another way, more than 9 out of 10 of all the world's many different animals do not have backbones. With numbers like that, it's pretty clear that our invertebrate friends are some mighty important neighbors. So let's take a tour and meet some of them. We'll start here, by the ocean. It's a great place for having fun and for finding invertebrates, such as this little guy that washed up. It's a sponge, a member of the invertebrate group scientists call the Porifera, that's broken loose from its underwater home. Sponges are the simplest of all the world's many different animals. They survive by taking water in through tiny holes in their sides and then passing it out through larger openings. As this water moves through their bodies, sponges take oxygen and the tiny bits of food they need from it. And here's another interesting invertebrate floating by. It's a jellyfish. There are many different jellyfish and other related invertebrates, such as this little sea anemone. These creatures belong to a group called the stingers or cnidaria, because the arms or tentacles that either stick up or hang down from them are covered with stinging cells these critters use to kill the fish and other animals they eat. And here's a chunk of coral I found washed up on the shore. Coral is interesting stuff. Colonies of tiny stingers, such as these, make coral by taking chemicals out of the water in which they live and then using them to build often rock-hard protective homes. Over the centuries, these coral homes can grow to become huge underwater reefs. As you see, I've moved away from the ocean to find these helpful little invertebrates. They're worms, or earthworms to be exact. These little wigglers are a favorite with farmers and gardeners. That's because earthworms' droppings fertilize the soil and help plants to grow. And here's a different kind of worm, a pretty little ocean-living feather duster worm. These worms live in tubes they build, and they use their feathery heads to catch bits of food as they float by. And rounding things out, here's a roundworm. Roundworms are tiny, and they live both in water and on land. While some worms, such as earthworms, help us, others can be a problem. For example, many can cause diseases, especially where it's hard to maintain a high level of sanitation. Snails of all sorts, clams, oysters, and other shellfish. This graceful little squid. They're all examples of the soft bodies, or mollusks, another fascinating invertebrate group. And here's a clam I've opened. Notice how soft and squishy its body is. That's how the soft bodies got their name. Even if they have hard shells, which most mollusks do, they all have soft bodies inside. Widely used as food, you'll find soft bodies, such as this ocean-living nautilus, living both in the water and, like this little guy, on dry land. The ocean is home to our next invertebrate group. And here's one of its members, a nifty little sea urchin. Our friends the urchins are spiny-skinned invertebrates, or echinoderms. As you can see, the name fits this little guy perfectly. Spiny skins spend much of their time moving along looking for algae, shellfish, and other food. And here's a different spiny skin I've found, a sea star. Notice how its legs radiate out from the center, like the spokes of a wheel. That's the common body plan for sea stars and other spiny skins. Ants hard at work? A millipede on the move? A spider in her web? Or a crab up close? As different as they are, all these critters share something in common. They're all joint-limbed invertebrates or arthropods. This is a huge group that contains more different critters than all the other animal groups combined. Joint-limbed invertebrates, such as this spiny lobster, get their name from how their legs and other limbs are made. They have joints in them, and that's a huge help. Look, for example, at this busy and bold little shrimp. One of the key reasons it moves around so easily is that the joints in its legs give them great flexibility and control. Along with jointed limbs, all arthropods share another important characteristic, and that's an exoskeleton or shell. If you've ever had cooked shrimp, the exoskeleton is what you peel off before you eat them. This exoskeleton protects arthropods, and it helps to keep ones, such as spiders and insects, from drying out and dying on land. Well, now we've met some of our many neighbors without backbones, let's play the invertebrate quiz game and see how much you can remember about them. The quiz game is fun and easy to play. It has 5 questions. I'll start each one by thinking about something to do with invertebrates. Then I'll give you some clues. After you hear them, decide what I'm thinking about and write your answer. That's all there is to the quiz game, so let's get started. Here's question number 1. I'm thinking about something that is part of a dog's skeleton and that makes it a vertebrate. What am I thinking about? The answer is backbone. Dogs and all other vertebrates have backbones. Question 2. I'm thinking about a kind of cell that jellyfish have and that they use to catch food. What kind of cells am I thinking about? The answer is stinging cells. Jellyfish use stinging cells to catch food. And here's the next question. This time I'm thinking about invertebrates that help farmers and that live in the soil. What am I thinking about? The answer is earthworms. Earthworms help to condition the soil for farmers and gardeners. Question 4. I'm thinking about something that all arthropods have and that is part of their limbs. What am I thinking about? The answer is joints. All arthropods have jointed limbs. And here's the last question. This time I'm thinking about the part of an arthropod's body that helps to protect them and prevents them from drying out. What am I thinking about? The answer is exoskeleton. Exoskeletons protect arthropods and help to keep them from drying out. Well, that ends this quiz game and our visit with the invertebrates, the largest of all the animal groups with which we share planet Earth.